Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I have to make a decision, so I thought I'd talk to the camera and see if anything came to me about what I should do. Um, you know, I'm a real believer in Vision Quest. And by the way, I just looked at myself up. This is how I just woke up an hour ago. I fed the dog and did some tree trimming. So I have to make a decision. And anybody who's ever tuned in knows that I'm 85. Is that right? Yes, I am. In September, I'll be 86. And because of my age, especially, and that everybody's younger than I am, they're always like, "Oh, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. You gotta be careful." And listened to them the first time they told me that when I was 82. You shouldn't live alone. You should have somebody with you. I'm mobile, and so far, I'm coherent most of the time. But there's an old saying, and that saying is, you should never go swimming by yourself. You should always have somebody there watching you. The presumption is that the person watching you, if you cramp up or something happens, will dive in and save you. But if the person watching you can't swim or is too afraid to go in the water when they see that you're drowning, they're not going to help. Um, so I don't know how good an idea that is. I mean, okay, don't go in the water by yourself. Or if they're nudniks. Remember that? I think that's an expression nobody outside of New York knows. Nudnik is a Yiddish word. My Italian mother loved Yiddish. She had a lot of Yiddish expressions. Don't knock on my chinik, which I was grown up before. It means don't knock on my china. And basically it means don't bother me. Stop making noise. Don't bother me. Okay, nudniks. Nudniks are like sad sacks. Also an old expression. You may not know what that is. But they're basically people who screw up all the time. And it's never their fault, or sometimes it is their fault, but they're just helpless. They're just helpless human beings. And people are always helping them out because they're helpless. And that is not the kind of person you want riding side saddle with you or watching you when you go for a swim. So at 85, I have to decide on my latest vision quest of who am I really and how am I going to meet the world. And just because I'm 85, you don't stop living. You don't stop living. And the truth of the matter is, we don't know. That's the big magic of, and I don't know if it's even a threat. That's our destiny. Our destiny is we're going to die. We just don't know when. But when you're going to make a trip and do something, and people say, "Oh, that's dangerous. You couldn't don't go swimming by yourself." But I know lots of surfers, for instance, who went by themselves. I could see them out in the water, sitting on their boards, all by themselves, with the dolphins going by. I think you have to take chances in life. You do, and you hope they don't kill you. I know a woman whose husband was a guy. He jumped out of planes for a living. That's what he did for a living. And he was on a practice thing, and his chute didn't open. Do you think he didn't know? Of course he knew every time he got in the plane, he jumped out of it, that the chute couldn't open. That was his choice in life. His choice in life was to meet death every single day. I'm not doing something death defying. I'm just doing something that's a little bit physically testing if you don't do it right. And which is that I'm moving to Mazatlan. So I don't feel like I've gained any clarity whatsoever, but perhaps you have.